sort of God has been blind faith, not faith based on scientific proof, but rather a leap of faith. In fact, science and religion appear to be in conflict. Scientists believe in an evolutionary process, that the universe came to its present form by a series of random events. Theologians believe in creation, that a supreme being created the universe in a purposeful way. Question: is it possible to reconcile scientific and religious beliefs? Can it be scientifically proven that God or some sort of higher power exists? Yes. First, let's start with what we know. We know that we exist. We are irrefutable evidence that intelligent life exists in the universe. So is it really a stretch to prove that there might be an intelligent life capable of creating a universe with form, structure, and physical laws that always seem to remain constant? The fact that we live in a universe with reliable physical laws is a bit ironic, don't you think? Considering that many scientists believe that the universe evolved by random processes, the process of proving the existence of God is difficult to the apparent lack of direct evidence. God Almighty, for example, has never walked up to me and shook my hand, "Hey, how you doing? I'm God." However, when scientists first discovered atoms, there was no direct evidence of them. They could not be directly observed at the time, yet their existence could be proven indirectly. They left signs, footprints on the sand, so to speak, of their existence. Surely, though, God is bigger than an atom, so why can't God be directly observed? Well, if our universe is really an atom that exists on the head of a pin created by a giant who lives in a much larger universe, we would not be able to directly observe him. Our most powerful telescopes would not only show stars and galaxies, bits and pieces of giants, but not the big picture. Therefore, we are forced to prove the giant's existence by means of indirect evidence. To prove the existence of a higher being, let's begin by assuming there is no higher power. What kind of universe would we have? A random one, of course. Everyone would happen without a purpose. Nothing could be predicted. Nothing could be relied on. Mathematics and science would have no value because nothing could be reliable, measured, or have regularity. Why should the speed of light or the speed of anything remain constant? Why should gravity always keep us pinned to the Earth's surface? In a random universe, nothing has to work the way it's supposed to be. The universe would be nothing but a game. Scientists would argue that on the subatomic level, the universe is indeed a game. At level, things do appear to happen purely by chance. Yet, oddly enough, our universe has reliable, predictable laws. Does that make sense? Only the odds are stacked so that certain outcomes happen more often than others, thus giving the universe of the appearance of having form and structure that can be measured and predicted. So, who or what is stacking the odds? If not some kind of intelligent force or being, then what? If you ever played a game, then you know that of craps, then you know that 7 does not come every time you roll the dice. If the dice came up 7 every time, it would be perfectly reasonable for you to conclude that someone for something loaded those dice. Thus, it is perfectly reasonable for us to conclude that someone or something is stacking the odds of the universe so that what goes up must come down, and so that light will always travel at a constant speed, etc. The lack of this intelligence for both of us would give us an Alice in Wonderland, a predictable universe where the law of science and math would have no value. We would not exist. How could we? We are not random. We have intelligence we are looking for. Our intelligence mirrors and reflects the intelligence of a higher power.
I think the proof of a higher power can occur with the sandcastle analogy. How did the sandcastle get here? Imagine you're on a desert beach. There is no one else around and you see a sandcastle. How did it get here? You ask. At this point, let's explore possibilities. A. There is a sandcastle maker. B. The sandcastle is made by Dunlop. C. The sandcastle has always been here. Now, some scientists will immediately eliminate A as a possibility. After all, there is no sandcastle maker around. The beach is desert. However, you could argue that such direct evidence is not necessary. The sandcastle is indirect evidence of the sandcastle maker existence. Wait, the scientists fire back. How could you prove the existence of the sandcastle maker without first defining what you're trying to prove and then setting details? At this point, you will have to concede that you do not know the name, sex, physical description, or the social security number of the sandcastle maker. However, you could absolutely point out that your ignorance of these details does not disprove the existence of the sandcastle maker. The sandcastle could only be here due to the sandcastle maker. Therefore, it exists. But what about dumb luck? This possibility goes against our common sense. But you have to admit dumb luck can make anything happen. The Surf Eddy and a mini hurricane could have left the sand on the beach skyward, giving a form of cylindrical symmetry. Then, the windmill interior of the castle could have been dug by hermetic crabs. Finally, a seagull flying overhead could have sand in dropping down the plane of the exterior. You have to admit it could have happened that way. It was a lady luck, a roll of dice that built our sandcastle. But who rolled these dice? Here again, you could argue that the sandcastle is proof of the sandcastle maker. The sandcastle made a product of the evolution of dumb luck. But someone or something had to set the gear in motion. Someone or something had to roll those dice. And now, the sandcastle had always been here. It was not created, nor did evolve. Therefore, no sandcastle maker is required, and therefore does not exist. Who was maintaining the sandcastle all these years? You only ask, why has it remaining inside for so many billions of years? Surely something in all that time would have destroyed it. Now, look what you did. You made the scientists mad. Why? They don't want to admit. But A is the best answer. The sandcastle was made by a sandcastle maker. If these scientists were worth that pile of secrets they sit on, they will realize that no valid proof of anything is necessarily exclusive. If you use your imagination,